Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm having fun playing with watercolors and heat embossing to create some fun colored flowers. I'll start my project with a piece of watercolor paper and the Amazing You stamp set. This is another stamp set that is a celebration item and only available through March 31st. The link to the product is in the video description below. I'm starting off the stamping by using one of the images from Amazing You, and I've got my stamp pads open and ready just in case I need to use something other than ink refills. By spraying some water, that's regular tap water, on my watercolor paper and then dropping an ink refill, I'm now spraying more tap water with my Stampin' Spritzer and watching the colors explode. I love how being able to spritz the areas of the ink refill just explode everywhere with color. It's a very natural look, and I don't know that I could duplicate that look, that the force of the Stampin' Spritzer, which it is a very powerful little squirt bottle. It just blows all the color around. By using my heat tool, I am tempting fate a little bit and encouraging my paper to warp. So being sure that when you use your heat tool with a piece of watercolor paper, that you take tender care whenever you're heating it and work from the front side and the back side to try to keep the warping down to a minimum. With the Versamark ink pad and the image from Amazing You stamp set, I'm adding silver embossing powder on the areas of the little color bursts. I'm going to add all of the images to the paper before I heat emboss the panel. That way I can also keep that heat down to a minimum and work the heat tool from the top and the bottom. So I'm really putting a lot of stress on this watercolor paper, and it's okay because I'm going to be fussy cutting out the images. So they're going to not lay down completely flat, and that's okay because flowers naturally don't lay down flat unless they're pressed. So in this instance, it's working toward my benefit. And that's a good thing. I've cut out lots more flowers than I need. That way I will be able to have a choice of exactly which units I want to use. I considered putting a couple of groupings of flowers, but then it just looked much more natural to me when I keep coming back to using 3 flowers. I'm using some archival ink and adding the sentiments from the Amazing You stamp set. This really is a fantastic stamp set, and I'm sorry to see that it's going to be retiring on March 31st. I'm glad I do have my set now, and that way I'll be able to pull it out and use it whenever I need it, because the images really are fantastic. I chose to have one of the flowers look more blue than green, and I wanted some of the other, like one of the other flowers, to be more green than blue, and then one that was kind of in the middle of the road. My trusty leaf punch and a scrap of some vellum paper are going to give just a little bit of encouragement for the eye to move around the design and not just be a clump of flowers, but I want the leaves to not distract away from all of those gorgeous colors that are on the flowers. So this is going to be kept more neutral, but it's going to have that look of the vellum to draw your eye over to it. I like to achieve this look also by using white die cuts in my designs. I'm using some of the white enamel shapes to be able to add just a little bit more sparkle but also not taking away from the colors that are on the flowers. This is one of those extra reasons why, I use those white accents so much. The inside of the card is very simple, using that burst or star spray stamp that is really pretty. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. All of the products that I've used today are available in my online store, and they're listed on my blog and in the video description here on YouTube. I truly appreciate your support with your purchases. They enable me to bring you more tutorials. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.